thank you so much. I hope everybody's here. I hope everybody's hearing me well. What
Yes,
I
we
can
are.
say to everybody firstly is that a supermarket meeting can lead you into making a retirement financial planning presentation because Winklet and myself met at John R. Wong.
Yes.
I mean to say, I would have never thought. And she heard me speaking to somebody about something and came over and said something to me. I gave her my business card. Well, the rest is history. I don't even remember when we met. All I know is sometime this year.
Definitely.
And after that, she just kept coming at me. So Magda, when can you do the presentation? When can you come and so here we are today, and I'm really honored, very happy, and everything in life happens for a reason. And this is one reason, which I hope will be a fruit that in the future, there can be a course at the university, because if you look at countries like the UK, the USA, Europe, there isn't any university over there, or there is at least one university out there that's offering retirement financial planning courses. And I think Jamaica would do very well if it did the same thing, because at the end of the day, retirement financial planning is all about building capital today for your guaranteed lifetime index income upon the happening of a life event. That's the kind of language we need to get into. It's not about retirement planning. It's about retirement planning to build capital today for your guaranteed lifetime index income. And we're going to talk about those, what that means. And we're also going to look at it in terms of you're planning, you're doing that because you want to ensure that there's that income, guaranteed lifetime index income upon the happening of a life event. And we're going to talk about that as well. Yeah. So the Milestones team is Miss Sandra Passmore-Leroux. I haven't seen if she's on as yet, but I guess she is. And she's one of the
Yes,
partners
I'm here.
at
Morning,
Milestones. Let me
everybody.
just see. Oh, morning, Sandra. Morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Sorry to be
Morning. Good
late.
to have you
Morning,
on.
Winkler.
Yes, it's good to have you on. And Sandra Passmore is a partner administration, and we both have our skills. More than 5 years of experience gained with various private sector organizations. She brings program and project management linguist. So if you have anybody at UE who speaks French and Spanish, am I correct, Sandra? French and Spanish?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and a correction to that. The qualification designation is actually BA, not BSc.
Okay, yes. So let me take that off and
Sure.
change it as well.
Yeah, in
Right
French.
now, I am sorry about that. Yeah. You see, that's what happens when you make a mistake. Even with retirement financial planning, you can correct it immediately. Yes? All right. So BA, MAT, Tourism and Hotel Management, partner, as I said before. And she brings program, project management, linguist, events planning and fundraising experience to the team. Sandra is also, role is to provide structure to the projects, and my screen is being blocked right there. Forgive me. I don't know why my screen is doing that for me at all. Sorry. Let me just see if I can just bring this down a little bit. Move the screen over a little bit. I'm sorry, everyone. You can say you're sorry when you are when you're into retirement financial planning, but you can't say sorry when you are into, oh dear, I'm not getting this at all. Hold on 1 second for me, please. Just give me 1 second, please. Make sure Sandra did. Yes. Okay, I think we're a little bit better now. Yeah. From current slide, I think we're a little bit better now. Yes. Yes. So she brings linguist, administration, events, planning, and fundraising experience. She provides the structure to the projects and solutions that Milestones consults on, as well as to generate leads and prospects for the solutions provided by the partnership. And this is now about me, and I think Winklet did a great job at introducing me in terms of where I am and what I do. And I really, really enjoy what I do. Presentation objective is to heighten the awareness of each valued UWI employee in the chemistry department regarding the principles of retirement financial planning to build capital for a retirement guaranteed lifetime index income, which needs to be managed for your retirement lifestyle expenses due to disability, old age, and death. A lot of people are unaware that this information about disability, old age, and death for your retirement planning is in the laws of Jamaica. If you look at the Income Tax Act, Section 44, you will see it right there. It actually states it right there. I've summarized it, but that's really what it is saying. I always like to quote this text because sometimes we see retirement financial planning as just for ourselves, but the text in Deuteronomy, in Proverbs 22, first part, it says, a good man, a good woman, a married couple leaves inheritance for his children. Once you are building capital, you really should also be into inheritance management and inheritance plan and generational wealth planning, because that's really what it is, because you don't know when these death is going to occur. So therefore, if you're accumulating capital, you have to know who you're going to pass it on to as well. Yeah, that's very, very important to understand that. But first, let's look at some ground rules. And the reason I do ground rules is that I think we forget, or we don't remember, or you probably only applied in your chemistry department. And that is, everything that you do in life has some rules that goes with it. And when you flaunt the rules, you don't get the benefit you're supposed to get from it. And that is key. So in chemistry, if you don't do what is right in terms of the rules there, you're going to have some problems with it, yeah, with the outcome. You might get something new, but it may not be as well what you were really looking at. So for today's rules, be respectful to other attendees. Keep your mic on mute until ready to speak. Post comments and questions in the chat. And I'm going to ask Winklet to manage the chat, please. Use the raise hand feature to say something. And the thing is, I'm going to say something else about that. In my presentations, I can stop my presentations halfway because we only have an hour. But if you need to say something, please raise your hand. You'll be acknowledged and you can say something. Okay? I want this to be a two-way presentation, not a one-way of me talking all the time. Listen and participate fully. I learned the listening skills when I studied law. And it's very important to understand listening skills so that you can communicate effectively. Sorry. Ask questions, even silly ones. It will help another UWI chemistry department attendee to understand today's presentation topic and implement the principles of retirement financial planning. So it's not, I don't only want it that I'm talking about it, but how do you implement it? And you can ask questions along that line as well. In fact, you can ask any question you so desire. And I'm going to give you some homework. Let me see all those, put on your mics. Let me see all those who are happy. I'm going to give them some homework. Anybody? Anybody? I want to see your mics on. I want to see a smile. Not your mics, your video on. I want to see a smile that you're happy about homework.
I don't know if anyone is ever happy about homework.
Oh, no. But this is good homework because of that example you gave earlier on, Winklet, about somebody who you know of, who you're told of, who when they got to retirement didn't have a home to go to. So homework is very important to get you organized and so on. All right. So I didn't see any smiling faces except for Winklet. That means everybody's happy, but they don't want to show me their face. I'm going to take the positive view of that, right? Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to be looking at, forgive me again. I need to just move this thing across. As long as you can see me. Can you see me?
Yeah, man, we can see the writing. So once you can see the writing, it's okay. Yeah. All
right. Today, the two pillars we are going to build our presentation on are retirement financial planning principles and Jamaica's legislation in Jamaica for retirement savings. I think one of the things we have not done very well, and you all can correct me from a university point of view or just generally, we have not communicated Jamaica's legislation. I'm not going to go very deep into this because I'm going to say to everybody, if I make reference to any legislation, you can go to www.moj.gov.jm and you can actually see the legislation. So the key legislation that you need to be aware of is the NIS Act 1966, the NHT Act 1976, and the other ones I'm going to call for is a private sector type plans. And I know UE has its own plan, but I didn't prepare today's presentation with UE's two types of plans that they have in place, or if you have in all three. But I'm going to be applying principles. And that is where now, if you want to have another session where we go deep into UE plan and how you apply it, that's something we can do at another time. But today we're just talking about principles. So let me just go back over the legislation you need to look at, the NIS Act, the NHT Act. It's very, very extremely unfortunate that let me ask a question first. And you all can put up your raised hand and Winklet, you can tell me. How many of you know the benefits that NHT provide? How many of you know the benefits that NHT provide? Anybody? Raise your hand or put your comments in the chat. Anybody? What are the benefits that NHT provides? Anybody? Are you all hearing me? Okay, go ahead, Donna, Minot, Kate, please speak. What are the benefits that NHT provides?
Okay, NHT provides a starter loan for persons purchasing their homes for the first time. They
Yes.
also provide loans, and that's a more recent, relatively recent introduction for homeowners who can then take out a loan in terms of renovating their houses later on. Before, it was only one single loan you could get. Now they have this additional loan. Also, contributors can, after 7 years, obtain a refund of their NHT contributions with interest. And on retirement, you get a lump sum payout of the previous 7 years, 6 or 7 years contribution. Because you're shaking your head, because you would not have had that refunded. Your last refund would have been the previous 7 years back. And so on retirement, there is some money that NHT has in trust for you.
Okay, Donna, I will put you at the top of the class because you included the retirement benefits. And when you say retirement benefits, tell me exactly, drill that down a little bit for me and tell me exactly what you're referring to.
Okay, you would have been contributing to NHT all the way up to your retirement.
But tell me when in retirement you get, or what are the 3 life events that you get that benefit of a refund?
No, you have me there. I know that on retirement that the university will prepare various documents. Yes, on retirement.
Based on
your contributions. Yes.
No, based on old age. And old age in NHT is age 65. Am I correct? As it is now.
Yes, it is.
However, NHT also pays a benefit in the event of disability and death. Are you all aware of that?
That I did not know. But logically, I can see where that would happen, because certainly in terms of death, your contributions would have been sitting there unclaimed.
Exactly. And what has happened is that, let me just finish off that point that you made earlier on about how much you would get back. What has happened is we have not spent the time to give, and you all can correct me, because I always see this as Winklet, I always see this as a learning experience on both sides. What we have not been educated on with NHT is the fact that NHT pays a benefit in the event of disability, old age, and death. That's one. NHT also requires that you must have a will. If you haven't claimed the benefits before age 65, you must have in place a will in order for the survivors to get your NHT contributions refund. Also, going back to that point you made about the refund, it's not the last 7 years. And what happened is we have not been educated as to how the NHT pays a benefit. NHT pays a benefit on death, disability, or old age based on if you start at age 18 to make the contributions and when the life event occurs. It's not based on the last 7 years. It is based on the contributions when you started up to the time when a life event occurs, and whatever benefits are there, you get it with whatever funds are there. So you might have started age 18, but you never started to take a refund until age 40. So therefore you have all those contributions between 18 and 40. So what has happened is that we don't understand fully how it works. So you have to be given back all of those contributions with interest that you didn't take the 7-year refund on. And remember, the 7-year refund is only based on the 7th year back. It's not based on the accumulation of the 7 years that has gone back. So if you're doing, we're in 2021 now, you would be now doing 2020 14 contributions. You wouldn't be doing from 14 to 2020. It's only 2014 that you'll be getting a refund on. Yeah. And so what has happened is, just sharing, I've had clients when I've told them that I'm not going to chat rubbish. I say, okay, fine. You don't take any more contributions. No. If you used to take it, stop taking it, or make a decision you don't want to take it anymore. And then wait until retirement. And some of them have been getting at retirement, old age at age 65, 15, 16 million, 10 million refund, because of the fact that they made a decision, an informed decision, that they want the NHT, not only for the housing benefits, but also to provide that capital sum when you get to old age, disability, or death. Anybody wants to question me on what I just said or comment? But you can go to the NHT archive, you can look at it. You can go to the NHT website. And when you go to the NHT website, click on the link that says refunds, and you will see that it gives you the refund options for disability, old age, and death. Again, it's your opportunity to make an informed decision, but 2 good benefits from NIS and NHT. Again, we need to stop having people feel, sure, NIS, we're not bothered with that. No, NIS pays very good. In fact, a client of mine called me last week who I've been talking to about retirement financial planning, and she advised that when she got to age 65, because of when she started NIS, she got a lump sum of over $1 million and a pension every month, which she's now getting, which is reasonable. So remember the adage, one cocoa, full basket, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, yeah? So the financial hierarchy pyramid, charity, which nobody wants, hand to mouth, comfortable, hand to mouth, comfortable, or you're comfortable closer to luxury and luxury. I mean, say there's nothing wrong with having luxury. I think we need to get rid of the thinking that to be wealthy or to have luxury is something is wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is if the wealth becomes such and become haughty, and you can't even say good morning to somebody when you see them. I think that is what is wrong with it. Okay, so why are you seeing my screen fully? Oh, let me move it. Why do you work? Anybody, why do you work? Anybody, why do you work? Raise your hand, give me a raise hand. Why do you work? I would say that you work, go ahead, anybody, raise your hand. You work because you work to eat. Yes.
We work to eat and provide for ourselves and our families.
That's correct. And it's really the income that allows you to do that. Yeah. If you don't have the income, you can't do it. Yeah. And you have to have a certain amount of security that every month the university will give you your pay. That's another story for what is happening in the pandemic now. So what about money? Is money or income useful without a budget? No. If you don't budget, then you won't be able to know if you are really saving on an ongoing basis regularly for retirement. So the budget guide I use is, and I can send to Winklet and she can share with you all. It says 10% tithe, 10% offering, 10% savings, 20% investments, and 50% personal spending. Most of us, including myself, until I got access to that budget guide a few years ago, never allocate 100% of our income. We always only look at the net income and try to allocate that. No, you have to go back to your gross income because your pay slip is addressing your gross income. That's what it is. And you must be able to understand how that gross income is allocated. So I'm going to go on a little bit more about your pay slip. How many of you understand your pay slip? How many of you understand your pay slip? Everybody understands your pay slip? Everybody? Hello? Am I talking to myself? Yes, Donna, put up your hand again. What is your understanding of your pay slip? How is it designed?
Okay, your pay slip is designed to show your gross income, it shows
Good.
the taxes that are taken out at source, and that include your income tax, other taxes like NHT and so on. It also shows I said NHT, education tax, other contributions like NIS, NHT, pension contributions, your deductions post-tax, if you have a mortgage or insurance or any other contributions that you make where funds are taken at source.
Okay, so I am going to give you a more drill down a little bit of what. Thank you so much for your participation. Really appreciate it. That means we'll keep on talking, right? Right, Donna? All right, so
I think I'm going to leave my hand down
of it and in summary. So no, not at all. You can leave it up all the time. So let me give you, and you all can write this down. It is gross pay, less tax deductible and tax deferred savings. Give me an example of a tax deductible and tax deferred savings. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Donna, help me, help the others. Give me an example of a tax deductible and tax deferred savings.
Tax
Deductible and tax deferred savings.
Not sure about tax deductible. Is tax deferred something like pension? Because I know in some cases.
So give me the name of the plan. Yeah, give me the names of the plans that are tax deductible and tax deferred, which come out of your pay.
Wouldn't that be the NHT and the NIS? Wouldn't that
No,
be
no,
included?
no. It's the
No?
NIS, not the NHT.
Oh,
So
okay.
the NIS, and if you're making any contributions to an employer-sponsored retirement savings plan, a superannuation fund, or retirement scheme, in the private sector, in the public sector, they have their own and they're making changes. In the tourism sector, they have their own and they're making changes too. So you have to know what is tax deductible and tax deferred that's coming out of your pay. NIS is one of them. Superannuation funds and retirement scheme.
Sorry to cut you, but probably they're not aware of what tax deductible means. So probably we need
yes, I'm going to explain that. Yes. Thank you, Sandra. Yes. So what I'm saying is you've got to be, thank you, Sandra. You've got to be accustomed to the terms, because when you're not accustomed to the terms and to the language in the Jamaican arena, then people are going to say, so what is? So why am I have to pay tax on this? You have to pay tax because that's the plan that you contributed to. NIS is a tax deductible and tax deferred plan. And superannuation funds or any employer-sponsored plan in the private sector, which you all are as well, is a tax deductible and tax deferred. So what it means is that your gross pay, from your gross pay, the first deduction that comes out from your gross pay is your contributions to those plans. NIS and any retirement savings plan which the employer sets up or in sponsored plan. Yes? And then when you get the benefit in the event of disability, old age, and death, the income that you get then, that's why it's called tax deductible and tax deferred, the income you get then is subject to tax. You heard what I said? Subject to tax. What do I mean by that? Anybody? Winklet, look, as I have to write a curriculum on this, right?
Maybe.
What do I mean by subject to tax?
It will be taxed.
No.
No?
Anybody else? No. What do I mean that it's the income at retirement is subject to tax? Wow. So
is it that if you invested the income
no.
from that is taxable?
No.
Shall I help them?
Yes, Sandra, please.
Okay, so when your income is subject to tax, it means that if your income falls up above the threshold, the income tax threshold, income tax will come out of that. Obviously, if it falls below the tax threshold, it won't. So it's based dependent on whether your income is below or above the tax threshold, whether it will be
Yes.
subject to tax.
Thank you. Right. And I don't know, thank you, Sandra. And I don't know if you all are aware that the Income Tax Act provides for 3 levels of threshold. Are you all aware of that? Winklet, are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
Yes.
so the first, yes, who said yes? Can you tell me what they are?
Donna, the first one is 1.5.
Yes.
So anybody below with
No,
income
no, we
below?
don't.
No?
Yes, but I want to drill down. Yes, I want, you're correct, but I want to drill down a little bit more. So for that 1.5 is anybody between from age 18 to age 55. Are you aware of that?
No, and I wasn't aware of the age requirement on that, just the
Right.
threshold.
Right. So it's between 18 to 55 or 54, let's say. If you between 18 to 50, if you're earning over 1.5, then any income above the 1.5 is subject to tax. If you're 55 to 64 and you are getting a pension income from anywhere else and you're still working, then you get an additional $80,000 on top of your on top of the 1.5. So that's 1.580,000. And then when you get to 65 and over, you get another 80,000. So you get 1.5 plus 160,000. Now you can check it with the law. You can check the Income Tax Act 1955. It will give you the old amounts, but the new amounts, if you go online, you may get the new amounts. So there are these three, there are these 3 thresholds. Now, when you're 55 and over, and if you're getting a pension, you should really go to payroll and give them the evidence that you're getting the pension, and they should increase your threshold at that time. If the organization's threshold or payroll system can facilitate it, then you will need to do an annual tax return to be able to claim back that threshold, the 80,000. Is that clear? Am I being heard? Winklet, am I being heard?
Yes,
All right.
yes. We're trying to we're trying to grasp it all, you know?
I noticed. That's why I'm getting silence, right? Except from Donna. Okay. So when you
Donna
get
is a bright one in this class.
I notice. I have to be careful what I say from now on. So from 65 and over until you die, it's that 1.5 plus 160,000. Now, a lot of people are unaware about that. And what has been happening is they've been spending more on their taxes or paying more on their taxes than they need to. But what you can do is, if your organization is not willing to do the 55 to 64-year-old, then you can engage a tax consultant. And if you want, I can give you information. I can send to Winklet. And then if you want, you can use a tax consultant to claim it. Now you have an income tax system. You can go as far back as 7 years back if you didn't claim your income tax benefits that you were entitled to. So a lot of the times, we end up saying, "Lax, now go on, boy, and I need this, I need that, the government this, and that." When in fact, there are benefits there for us, but we're not studying them. And that is why I am very gung-ho about a university course in this area. Because all the other countries, these things are communicated very freely. But in Jamaica, because there isn't any education on it, it's not communicated. And that saddens me, because I am not a Jamaican, but I know I live in the wealthiest country in the world. Who want to give me three hands up for that? Wealthiest country, but people just don't know because a lot of the laws are not communicated effectively. And that is the issue you have. But I've lived in many countries, and I cannot tell you any one of them are, even the UK, I cannot tell you any of them are richer than Jamaica. Jamaica just needs to communicate more effectively. I'm going to move on quickly. No, before I move on, so let me go back to the design of the pay slip. So you then have the gross pay, less tax deductible and tax deferred contributions, equal gross taxable pay. Then below that, you have less the threshold that's applicable to you on a monthly basis, equal, and then you have less the threshold, then you have less income tax, if any, or you have before that, you have your gross taxable pay, and less income tax, if any, then you have your tax-free deduction. Give me an example of a tax-free deduction. And what does it mean? What's a tax-free deduction? What does it mean? Hello, Donna, can you help them for me? Give me an example of a tax-free deduction. Everybody. Nobody?
I'm
Let me
not
help you.
sure. Yes, please.
All right, the tax-free deduction, and you said it before, I just thought you would recognize it is the NHT. And if you're doing life insurance premiums, it is a tax-free plan. What do I mean by a tax-free plan? It means that you make the contributions with after-tax dollars, as you can see what I just told you. And when you get the benefit, you pay no tax on it. That is why the NHT 7-year refund sounds so good, because you pay no tax on it. When you get those 7-year refunds, when you get to disability, old age, or death, when you get any refunds from NHT, you pay no tax on it. You just have to be aware of what implications are for the long term or the short term. Yes? So you have your NHT the NHT tax-free contributions, which means the contributions are made with after-tax dollars, and life insurance is the same thing. If you go to get a life insurance claim, or you're going to withdraw any money from a life insurance policy, any cash values, there's no tax payable on it. Then you have, after NHT, then you have your other deductions, and then you have your net pay. So that is why you need to be aware of your budget, so that you will know when you get your pay slip, you can identify with your pay slip. Any comments on what I just made?
Okay.
Go and check it out yourself. Any comments, any feedback? No? All right, let's move on to the next slide.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so my question relates to, so I think earlier on you had intimated, well, you can clarify for me. Are you suggesting that you don't file for your tax refund after 7 years with NHT?
You
and
don't
wait
file for your...
wait until you're retired and then take it as a lump sum?
Yes.
Is that something you're suggesting?
And I'm saying, yes, I'm saying make an informed decision. So if it is that in January next year, you need to get it because you need to get it, then take it off. I am just saying a lot of the decisions we make, we must understand the implications of it. So when you get to retirement, you get it back, you don't say, so what is? So I'm only get this. You understand what I'm saying? I throw my money all this time, this is all I get. No, you have to understand the implications of it. So you're making an informed decision as to whether you take your 7-year refunds or you leave it until disability, old age, and death. But remember what I said before, let me go back to that. For the NHT, and I'm not being political in my statement I'm going to make now. I want to make sure you all see my face. Let me just move my thing over so you all see my face and I see my face, what I'm saying. The next statement I'm going to make, I don't want anybody to take it as political, but I want you to see it for what it is. When you're going to claim your NIS benefits, nobody asks you for a will. And an NIS is a compulsory, mandatory, I should say, contributions plan in Jamaica. Everybody, once you get to age 18, whether you're working or not working, you're supposed to make those contributions. However, when you get to NHT, when you're doing the 7-year refunds, nobody asks you for a will. If the person has, if you want you alive, nobody asks you for any documents. You make a claim, you're gone. But when you die, when somebody dies from NIS, no will is asked for. If you're going to claim the NHT death benefit and you don't have a will, it goes through probate. That doesn't make sense to me because they are both, again, I'm not being political, they are both mandatory plans in Jamaica. And I'm saying that we need to have that discussion with the government about why is it you have one requirement for one and not the same requirement for the other. Does that make sense? And the reason I say that is because of the culture as well. A lot of benefits are lost because culturally people just don't believe in writing a will. And if they don't write it, it's going to take them buku years to get the refund from NHT. That doesn't make sense. I don't want to put culture as a reason, but culture plays a part in my reasoning. Donna, what do you think about that reasoning?
I agree with you. It is something that we really need to press to get persons early on to make wills and to renew them as they have life changes along the way. Sometimes they will make one and then nothing else is done about it. A lot of persons don't realize
You
that
have to update it.
yes, and that a will becomes null and void after you've married. Or
That's correct. That's correct. But what do you think about a will being necessary to claim your NHT and no will necessary to claim your NIS? What do you think about that?
Oh,
and somebody just said, whoa. Perhaps I should leave Prof. Kawa to chime in here.
Yes,
I
come, Prof.
don't know. I am not quite sure what Miss Cooper was. I didn't know that was the case, because when I
Yes.
went mine, I just it was me, so there was no issue. But I think that the point you're making is absolutely important, because
Yes.
the people who are left after one has died may not even remember
Exactly.
that there is money to be claimed somewhere.
Exactly.
Small,
Exactly.
a small amount, but when they send you a check of hundreds of thousands of dollars one time, you can do quite a bit with it.
Yes, yes, yes. And the survivors, because we have a culture in Jamaica in having big funerals and expensive casket, but afterwards they need that NHT money to keep going. And they don't necessarily want to have a will to be able to get that benefit, because they've been mandated to pay it in any case, just like NIS. So it's something which I share. Again, I hope this is recorded. I am not making a political statement, okay? I'm not running for office. I am just looking at principles. Is that correct? Are you all agreeing with me?
Absolutely,
All right.
you're spot on.
Yes. Yes, principles. Okay, let's move on. 3 basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter. Whether you are retired or not retired, those are 3 basic things you need. Yes, and shelter. Sources of income: you at work and or your money at work. That's also important, and we have done something at Milestones called the 7 sources of retirement income, because what has happened is in Jamaica is that we haven't built, apart from the visuals of somebody looking sad and sorry about retirement and income and looking poor, we haven't really built positive messages about retirement income. What we've done, we've built a lot of these negative images. And what we did at Milestones is that we designed what is called the 7 sources of retirement income. And we have them as calendars, we sell them as calendars. We also have them, you can get it online from where's it again, Sandra? What's the name of the website? You can get it, you can purchase it from there, and they sell you a really nice poster that you can have up in your offices. So it reminds people, so when something happens, you don't have to wonder, oh, I wonder if Miss So-and-so, who is a survivor of Mr. So-and-so, I wonder if they remember to do that, because we'll be up in your office, yeah? So we have that. And the issue as well is that in one of the sources that we speak about in terms of the visual is spousal income. A lot of people a lot of couples, when their spouse dies, they don't have a clue where to go get the money from. And the money or the benefits, and the benefits are sitting in all places, including overseas from foreign. Every now and again, I get into Jamaican language. I hope that's okay. And so I recently, a client of mine died about a year or 2 ago. So the family got in touch with me about claiming their benefits for in Jamaica, because I did a retirement scheme with the organization. And then when the beneficiary came for the retirement scheme, he also brought his uncle with him. So I'm saying, why bring his uncle with him? You know why the uncle came? Because the uncle is there to claim the deceased person's benefits from the UK, from the US, I mean. So sometimes we don't even know what's happening. Another story was told to me recently of somebody who died, and apparently the guy migrated to the UK after the train disaster. What do you call that place again, where the train disaster took place many, many years ago? Oh gosh, it's in my mind, I just can't remember. Kendall. And he migrated, but he didn't tell the family where he went. So he left a will, but he left it for the family in Jamaica. And the people in the UK flew down to Jamaica, found the family, and now the family is getting pound sterling as an income for the rest of their lives. You see, so I don't think we have yet understood how retirement financial planning is not only something in Jamaica, you have to take a global perspective. Yeah? A global perspective. I'm not going to tell you my story at this time, but if I didn't have a global perspective, I don't know where I'd be today. So those are points that you need to look at. Yeah? Charity is not a source of income, not at all. Yeah? Family, church, whatever, is not a source of income. You have to plan for it. And you have to plan for it generationally as well. Generational wealth planning in Jamaica is very bad. And then when you look at inheritance management, it's even worse. In fact, I met a young guy at Ligony post office recently, and he was saying to me, I said, so why you look like that? Smoking weed behind my car. Now, that's one thing you don't do in my presence. You don't smoke weed. So I don't tolerate that. So I said, why are you smoking? He said, well, ma'am, I have problems. I said, what kind of problems you have? Say, well, ma'am, my mother died. I said, so what your mother left for you? Oh, she left me house, land, everything like that, and money. I said, so what you doing with it? Oh, I squandered it. Don't have nothing now. So many problems. Why didn't he, when he was claiming his benefits from each organization, let us say, didn't somebody say, go and see so-and-so to help you to manage your money? Go and, because if you don't teach your children, then when death occurs, the inheritance is going to go away. So that is what's contributing a lot to the poverty and poor retirement financial planning security. So for instance, I only started to learn about this whole thing about retirement financial plan in my 50s. And when I started talking about it in Jamaica, my colleagues in the industry said to me, "Why do I waste your time for? Not everybody in Jamaica knows about retirement planning." Well, when I went down to NIS to check it out, I said, "Good morning, I'm here to check out my NIS old age benefits." The lady in NIS said to me, "Ma'am, you're not from Jamaica, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not from Jamaica." She said, "No, in Jamaica, we don't talk about old age." I said, "But if you look at your legislation, it says old age. The form that you're going to give the public to fill out, it says NIS old age refund or benefits, I should say. So why are you telling me you don't use it culturally? I'm in a business with that. I'm interested in my benefits being paid to me. And those kind of cultural things help to prevent us from getting the benefits that we do. Let me go on to the next slide. How are you protecting your retirement savings to provide a retirement income? Are you saving under your bed? Are you losing its value sitting in the savings bank account? No income protection in place? Those are not ways to go. Do you have an emergency fund? So when you look at your budget, part of your budget should also address an emergency fund. Yes? An emergency fund, when I started saying this some years ago, 6 months to 2 years, a lot of my friends and I went into an organization to make the same presentation, and they laughed at me. I said, "Darling, if you don't put aside two years of capital invested, it's going to be very difficult when things change." Excuse me, what are we into now globally? What are we into? What's happening now? The pandemic. And those people who didn't put aside 2 years savings, or who didn't get a inheritance and then manage it to give them an income, when they lose their work, what happens? Then are problems, and next thing you know, they're coming begging to us. Yes, so emergency fund is very important. If you had a machine that could print, sorry for that spelling word, could print authentic, genuine notes, would you hesitate or insure it? And that also applies to you, because you are the money-making machine. Yes. So we're going to go on now to some questions, which I've prepared a handout, which Winklet is going to send to you all, and that's going to be your homework. So I'm going to give you the answers now. And when you get the document, you can go through it. Winklet has my cell WhatsApp number. There's also Sandra's number as well. And you all can communicate with us, and if you need any further answers. So I'm going to go into the questions and answers now. First question, what's your definition of retirement? Well, we spent a lot of time about that. And we know that retirement occurs upon the happening of 3 life events: disability, old age, and death. So any financial plans that you have must address these 3. And your UE plan, no, let me start first of all. Your NIS does that, your NHT does that, your UE plan does that for the retirement plan, and also your group life, your health, and any other plans that you have. The issue I've been having in Jamaica as a pension consultant is that I don't know if any of you have ever asked UE if they have any post-retirement benefits for you in the event in terms of group life and group health. I don't know if you all know that, but you need to ask those benefits. And also, internationally, what they do as well is that when an employee dies in their old age, what they do is that the family is given the option to also get the benefits as well, especially the surviving spouse. And if there are minor children, because remember that in NIS, it provides for minor benefits for minor children and income for minor children if the parent dies before age 18, before the child gets age 8. Can I just sneeze a minute, please? Allow me to sneeze. Oh, I need to sneeze. Hold on. Let me just allow. Said no, not now. All right. So in NIS, it provides for benefits for minors, income for minors, if the parent died before the child has attained age 18. But if the child has attained age 18, there are no minor benefit payments. So therefore, you need to find out at the workplace if that's happening. Again, I think we need to take a new look. I think the pandemic has revealed that. If we look at the amount of people who have died during the pandemic, if the survivors didn't have any benefits, God help them, because there wouldn't be anything for them. The other thing is that, and I'm going to make some comments here, and you all don't get vexed with me. Because of the culture as well, there's a lot of spouse and spice relationships. You all don't need me to explain what spice is, right? What actually happens is that a lot of relationships with a spice and not a spouse is that it takes place and the spouse who wants to leave the relationship hasn't divorced the wife who's on record. I am meeting upon, because people know I'm into retirement financial plan, they call me and ask me all kinds of questions. So like recently, a client of mine called me and said, Magda, you know, my father died recently. I said, okay. So was your mother divorced from your father? No. Okay, so what's your father's situation now? Oh, he's been living with a woman for many, many years and they have children together. I said, okay, they won't divorce you. You know, your mother is going to claim the widow's pension until she dies. The spouse now get nothing. So if the spouse who separated to go and get a spouse didn't make arrangements for that spouse, God help that spouse, now get nothing. However, if the children are minors, then the law will provide for them. But it means that who is going to go and do that claim? Good morning, NIS, you know, my benefits for my children are minors, and this is the man who died. But the spouse is not going to get any benefits. So I think we also need to look at our relationships and understand under the laws of Jamaica how they work. So for instance, the laws of Jamaica are very clear when somebody dies, when who the benefits are paid for, especially when they die in intestacy. It goes to spouse first, then children, then parents, then siblings, and there's a hierarchy. Sometimes we don't teach those things and a lot of people end up in poverty. And then what you end up having is dead left fight and quarrel and all kind of cuss and murder and all. It's not necessary. If we know the law and we're communicating it very well, if we're trained, we can go through those issues when death occurs. And death occurrence in Jamaica is a very troubling thing for me, because if the person who has died, in fact, I met somebody yesterday, same thing, you know, and you said to yourself, when are we going to have these principles communicated widely in Jamaica? So you can make an informed decision, yeah? You won't go and have your spouse, I can't stop you, but know what the implications are for your spouse and not for your spouse. So you can make those choices. Any questions, any comments? All right, moving on. As we said before, disability, old age, and death. Let me move my screen across. What are the two state benefits? We talked about that. They are NIS and NHT. Yes? So we know that those provide a benefit in the event of disability, old age, and death, the 3 life events. At what ages does retirement financial lifestyle planning start? And we know that it's age 18. Age 18 because you must contribute to NIS from age 18. If you look at the period of time to get a maximum benefit from NIS, it's between ages 18 and 70. Anybody born before who has a date of birth before 1955 can claim a benefit from NIS for old age. But if you were born after if as a woman, I should say, you're born after 1955, you have to wait until 65 up to age 70. But people born before 1955, it used to be 60 to 65. So when you don't know those things, you end up not making informed decisions, proper decisions. And from 18 to 70 is how many years? 52 years. And it takes 40 years to plan. So it really is a generational wealth planning issue as well. So if it takes 52 years in NIS, it takes between 18 and 65 for NHT to get maximum benefits. A lot of us are not getting maximum because we didn't know these principles when we were younger. Yes? Okay.
I have a question.
For each of the employment sectors in
Hi, Magdalena.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
have a question. So you say from
Yes.
age 18,
Yes.
we should be paying NIS. So those of us with young adult
Yes.
children who are still in school, they
Yes.
should be advised to go and get a NIS number and start paying
Yes. Yes.
NIS.
Yes. In fact, one of the questions I want the university to start asking enrollees, new students, if they're over age 18, can you bring me your NIS card, please? Because you have to enroll in NIS and NHT. Automatically, when you enroll in NIS, you automatically enroll in NHT. If they're not enrolled, then there should be some provisions by the university to say, next week, Tuesday, we are taking a bus down to NIS for everybody to enroll who's not enrolled, or next week, Thursday. Because if we don't start from that young, then we end up with another generation of people, give me money now, ma'am, you know, we need this and we need that. By the way, Winkler, tell me when I must stop here because, you know, I can talk all day about this. So tell me when I must stop, yes? Or give me a 5-minute call, all right?
Okay, so formally it goes on until 12, which is actually no, but I am sure that, you know, persons will, let us work with 10 minutes. Let's go up until 10 past the hour.
Okay, thank you. And just
All right.
call me and let me know. And apologies again. As I said before, it's a subject that I am very, very anxious about and like to talk about. So forgive me. So let's continue quickly. So what you'll find in the handout that you'll get is that you'll have the different sectors in Jamaica that have the different types of retirement savings plans. So we know that every Jamaican age 18, you must contribute to NIS and NHT. Public sector has their own. They have the public sector pension plan. The private sector is superannuation funds and retirement schemes, and UE has its own plan name as well. And I think WIGOT has a superannuation fund, if I'm not mistaken, yes? But today's session, just to expose you, it is not to say to you on an individual personal basis what it is that's applicable to you. I can't do that because I didn't prepare for that. Private sector, tourism sector, about a year or two ago, the tourism minister brought out a plan for the tourism sector, and it's gazetted and it's in law. And the self-employed business person, they have NIS, NHT, and they can also do approved retirement schemes as well. I don't like the term pension funds. No, if you're coming to talk to me on a personal level to do your retirement financial plan for me, you have to tell me the name of the plan that you're in. I see your hand is up. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Oh, Donna, is your
sorry,
hand up?
I think that was my previous question.
But do you have a question you want to make now? A comment you want to make now?
No, not right now. This was about the age 18 and NIS. And yes, I'd made that comment.
Yes. Okay. All right. So so when we're looking at retirement financial plan, we have to look at it holistically, and everybody. We know it starts from age 18 because the legislation, the Constitution of Jamaica says that when you get to age 18, you're deemed to be an adult. So what are the two phases of retirement financial planning and lifestyle planning? What are the two phases? Anybody? Anybody? Let me help you. So in the interest of time, accumulation phase and distribution phase.
Mm-hmm.
Accumulation phase is when you plant the seed from age 18, you see it grow into a tree, and it's time to pull the fruit. And the fruit from these plants, NIS, superannuation funds, retirement schemes, except for NHT, because NHT doesn't give you an income. NHT only gives you a lump sum. So to give you the income, which is in the form of an annuity, is a distribution phase. And so therefore you have to understand as well how that works, yes? So anybody who's working now who is below age 65 or age 70 is still in the accumulation phase. Once you get to over 70, or if you retire because of only because of disability or death, then that's another matter. Also, in whatever plan that you're in, the old age, the rules of every plan has early, normal, and late. The rules of any employer-sponsored plan has three categories of retirement ages: early, normal, and late. That's something that you'll have to check out as well. What's your definition of an annuity or pension? A lot of people don't talk a lot. We don't talk a lot about annuities. And if I line up 10 Americans, they can tell what an annuity is. You line up 10 Jamaicans, they ask you what that. Can't work. We have to be more familiar. An annuity is a contract between you and a life insurance company in which, or NIS, in which you make a lump sum payment or series of payments, and in return receive regular disbursement. So when you are in the accumulation phase, you're making a series of payments to accumulate the capital sum, which will then be used to purchase the annuity. So you have to understand that. And that's why when you get your annual statements and so on, you have to know how those things work from your private sector or your UE plan. The goal of an annuity is to provide a guaranteed lifetime index. I forgot to put an index income. Why do I say income? Index. When I came to Jamaica in 1981, a patty was 60 cents. How much is a patty now? Anybody? Anybody? $200. And if you put a cocoa bread with that, it's $300. So if I was planning my life in 1981 with a patty, I couldn't even buy a flake today. So it's important that you understand that indexation feature. And another time I'll get to that because I really want to get to some of this. You have to know how you're going to index your income. You have to know that this is in the building of the capital, so that you'll get an index income when you retire. And you also have to know when you get into retirement, you have to continue making investments, saving and investments. If you're not continuing to do that, you're going to end up down the ladder where you have a $200 patty today, next 5 years when you can't buy a $500 patty. You're saying, I beg your money to buy a patty. Can't work. Yes, a lot of these issues need to be talked about. It needs, and forgive me for saying this again, it needs a UE type of research to get this up and running. Just a chat. No, it needs a research. So you can call the numbers out. You can do the research in the country. It needs that badly. I know, sorry if I talk too hard about that, Wiglet, but badly needs that, because if we don't do that, we're going to end up with a society of a number of poor people, and we don't want that. Yeah, don't want that. All right, name 3 annuity options. In the interest of time, I'm going to tell you them. 3 annuity options, there are plenty. Straight life, guaranteed period, joint life and survival. That should say joint life and survival. There's 3 of them. But there's also, you can get the straight life, guaranteed period, joint and survival, all come with US dollar index from Sagicor. Sagicor offers that. You can also get, there's another one where you can draw down. They have the drawdown account. You can have a situation where you take the payments out, and then the balance is called the installment refund, where if you die, the balance of your capital sum that you pay to buy the annuity with is given to your beneficiary as a one-time lump sum payment. There's a ton load of annuity options. It needs to be discussed. People need to know what it is all about. Right? Don't answer me, anybody. Don't answer me on that one. What's the difference between a valid will and a valid testamentary trust? The reason why this is brought in is because currently, as I said before, this question is on your questionnaire when you get it. And there's another one which I'm not going to talk about, which I put in this morning as well. And the reason that you need to know this is because earlier on I said that when you're claiming a death benefit from NHT, you have to have a will. So you need to understand. That's the reason why this is brought into the questionnaire. So the difference between a will and a testamentary trust is this. Winkett, I want you to role play with me, please. I want to see you and role play with you. All right?
Okay.
So I am going to offer you something, and you are going to take it from me. You're going to put your hand up, and you're going to take it from me. Okay, so we're role playing. Winklet, I died last night. I left a will. Take it from me, please. Okay. Put your hand up and take it from me. I'm not seeing your hand up. Yes, you take it from me. I left a will, and even though I have 7 children, I left everything for you because I know you're bright. You went to UC Vernity. You didn't go to university. You went to UC Vernity. You're so bright. I know you will do the right thing by my other 6 children. So Winklet, everything is for you. What do you think is going to happen as a result of that?
World War
More than
III.
like World War 10, because everyone, 3 plus the 7 children that are left behind, it's going to happen because you are going to say, well, this is now mine. You can't, see there? It's mine. You can't tell me nothing. What did you say that mama tell you? When I look at the will not put your name in it. Mama have my name in it, Papa have my name. So forget about that. I've met somebody recently who's been thrown off. It's the mother's property because the big son, who is the UC Vanity graduate, he says everything is for him. Now, if he had gone to university and he had a course like this, he wouldn't be saying that. Yes?
Okay.
So he is like the trustee for everything, but he doesn't see it that way because his name is the only one in it. No, I'm going to do a testamentary trust. And it's not spoken about a lot in Jamaica, and I don't know why. Winklet, I died last night. Sorry, let me use this. I developed a testamentary trust, and this trust has trustees, which include the Administrator General. And what I've done in the testamentary trust, I've left an income for you and your siblings. And because I know I have grandchildren, the estate is going to go down to my grandchildren. You see the difference? So you don't have to worry if my grandchildren are going to get something. I've already put it in my testamentary trust. I use my testamentary trust as the generational wealth plan.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need to kind of talk about these things. Sandra, you want to say something?
Yes, Magda, just something you had said a while ago. You had said your testamentary trust has trustees as well as the Administrator General.
Yes, because the Administrator General is a trustee of last resort.
Right, but I was under the impression that the Administrator General could be the only trustee, that you couldn't have anybody.
No, you can you can name other family members as trustee as well with them. But if
Oh,
those
really?
Yes, but if those family members die, the Administrator General is their in-law. They have to be there. Because that's how the government gets a lot of estate back into its own ownership. Because remember, if you don't claim the estate, the lands and everything go back to the state.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was just once you name the Administrator General as a trustee, you could not name anybody else.
Yes.
That they act alone.
Yes, well, so you can you can always have more than one trustee. It's best to have at least 3. So you have an entity and 2 others. So you can always do that. Yes?
Okay.
Okay, let's move on quickly.
Okay, let's see if we can wrap up. It's 11 past noon. So I don't know if
Yes, I'm going to wrap up now. I'm going to wrap up now.
Okay, wonderful.
I'm going to wrap up now. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can move this across. Sorry. During retirement, your lifestyle expenses are not reduced. Don't let anybody tell you it's reduced. They're increased, yes, by inflation and currency devaluation, if any. Hence, plan to accumulate a capital sum which will provide 100% of your at-retirement date remuneration and index by 5 or 10%. I don't have any time to go through this, but I hope you'll understand. You know that retirement is coming. It wasn't as though it just shows up one day and takes you by surprise. So you need to get ready for it. By Batya Shevich. To be rich and successful is easy. Warren Buffett. Once you know the rules, it's easy. Your cue, any more questions that you want to answer? Any questions from anybody? Any comments? Because we're wrapping up now.
Okay. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I think everybody's so stunned. They're saying, boy, I wonder if I should ask her a question.
I am. Well, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What do you do in a so a will has been written and individuals have been in the will. You're told, okay, X is for Y and Z is for Y, and yes, it's been apportioned. And then now there's an individual, one of the persons is not indicating what they want done with their estate. You know, they're not in Jamaica, not signing on anything, doesn't even appear interested. Is there a recourse that the executors have under those circumstances? or they just have to wait
No.
on the person to make a decision?
They just have to wait on the person. What I do not, and help me, I'm not Jamaican by blood, but I'm Jamaican by thought. So help me. Where do we get this comment from, I'm not interested? And an inheritance has been left. I don't understand it. Don't answer me now because in the interest of time. I just don't understand it. How can you have an estate left for you? Yes, you're living in a foreign or you're living in Jamaica and you say you're not interested. Can you please, when you meet those people, give them my number, 897-2335, 876-897-2335, so that I can get the estate? Please. Anybody who's not interested in an estate, Magda, 876-897-2335. I will show you the interest in it. It just baffles me. There's so much wealth in Jamaica, but I'm not interested. I don't understand that. And that's why, and that's why a testamentary trust is important. Why do I say that? As well, it's because I don't know if you all remember the Heinz Foods. One of the Heinz descendants about a year or two ago, because the ancestors left a trust, the descendant was saying that she wasn't getting what she said the trust, the information was. So she, as a descendant and eligible for a benefit, sued the trustees. When you have a will, who are you gonna sue? You can try, but it doesn't have as much weight, in my opinion. I could be wrong, in my opinion, as if you have a trust set up. To have a testamentary trust, it's very easy to go through the law because trust law is very clear. Trust law, when you set up a trust, just like the university superannuation fund or whatever kind of plans you have there, they are run, it is administered by trustees. If a plan member, and the nice thing about the current legislation, which is the Pension Superannuation Funds and Retirement Schemes Act 2004 and enabling regulations 2006, governance, investments, registration, licensing and reporting, so on. The nice thing about those legislations is that in the Act, it says, in the Pensions Act, it says, the Pension Superannuation Funds and Retirement Schemes Act for the private sector says, Section 38 says, if a member, and this is powerful in Jamaica, if a member of a superannuation fund or retirement scheme is of the opinion, and you know in Jamaica there are many opinions, if a member is of the opinion that his benefits are being jeopardized, he can complain to the FST. Why do I tell you that? I tried it out and I got back all my money. I don't have time to go through all the details with it. The FST is a very important organization for you to know. The FST is an important organization for trustees to know, because if Section 38 says, if you jeopardize and the person is of the opinion, you can go there. And I did it and I got back my money. Tons of it. So I didn't tell you all my age. I'm now age 70. And I just give God thanks, and I give God thanks for this opportunity to make this presentation to you all. Remember to do your homework when you get your handout from Winklet. And I'd like to thank you for your kind attention. Happy retirement, financial and lifestyle planning. And we also offer at Milestones fee for service retirement financial planning on an individual basis, couples, families, and organizations as well. Thank you very much, Winklet.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Could you just leave on the screen your contact information, please?
Okay, I'll put it in the chat. Is that okay?
Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. So
I'm not seeing the chat as an option here on my screen. Can you write it down and share it with everybody for me? I'm seeing share screen, record, breakout room, reactions, but I'm not seeing. I don't know if I need to look somewhere. Donna, I thank you so much for your input. You saved the day.
You're welcome. Thank you for a very engaging presentation.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. And I hope you'll share the information with your family and with your colleagues at work.
Okay. What I will do, I'll just send the info, send the form wholesale to the person. Send the info you sent to me. Yes. I'll just send that out to to the
Yes.
individuals, and then they can, I've made a list of the persons who are on this talk. And so,
Yes.
but I don't have any contact information for Shauna Grant.
Sandra. Shauna
No.
Grant. No, Sandra.
That's
Sorry if I
Sandra?
give-
Okay.
That's Sandra Passmore.
Okay, no problem.
So sorry if I gave you that
Is
wrong information on there.
Does Kimberlyn work with you as well?
No.
Okay,
So I
so
need to edit my document then.
hold on. You see
I will
my
edit-
screen, my laptop
Yes, I will
screen is coming and going. It has issues.
Yeah, that's okay. I will go back and edit the document before you send it out.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Yes, I'll go back and edit it before I send it out. My
Okay, not a
apologies.
problem.
Thank you
Not a
all
problem.
very much for the
Yes, ma'am.
21 persons on this. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Happy holidays when it comes, and thank you again, Winkler.
Great. Thank you so much. We have learned so much, and I guess, sometimes when you're not in the know, when you're ignorant about a certain aspect of life, we don't necessarily want to continue to show our ignorance, but ignorance is not bliss. And so thank you very much for opening our eyes to just a small portion of the things that we need to know concerning moving ahead for our future. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for Sandra as well. All right.
Yes, Sandra, you want to make a comment? Sandra, you want to make a comment?
No, I'm just saying, I'm glad that we're able to educate the staff. Hopefully they'll be able to use the information, not only for their professional workplace reasons, but also to pass on to their families, to use within their family setting as well.
Okay. All right then, folks. Thank you all for popping on. And yes, I guess this is the last of it. So happy holidays. All right. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye, Winkler.
All right. Bye.